Hey guys, so my name's Chris, and this video I just want to tell you guys about my experience with learning the drums, how, why, where, when, etc. So in the beginning I wasn't really that musically influenced. I didn't have a lot of family members or anything that played music. It was just more of an escape for me. I would put on my earphones and I was gone, you know, I was in a different reality, and that was just something that was always there for me and I kind of had a strong connection with. And then it wasn't until I was about 13 years old, I'll never forget, I was walking outside the school basketball gym and it was on like the second or third floor, and it was overlooking the primary playground where there was going to be an annual concert that year, and they were doing rehearsals, and my music teacher at the time, really cool guy, he was basically just sound checking the drums, and I'll never forget, he was just playing, you know, simple 4/4 beat, and when I heard that, I kind of stopped and I had the biggest smile on my face. I didn't know why, I didn't know how, I knew that it was something that really, you know, hit me inside. Like it was something like I felt, and it just felt empowering and cool, just mostly cool, you know. At that age I thought, shit, what's more badass than just laying into the drums, you know, just hitting shit. So that was kind of one of my first real acknowledgements of the drum kit and what it sounded like to be played live, you know. I hadn't really been open to a lot of experiences before that. Anyway, so fast forward a bit, and soon after I basically started with drum lessons. Luckily my parents were willing enough to let me have a go at it, because actually I had started out with guitar, they had bought me a guitar, and I basically quit and that didn't make them so happy. So that was a learning experience, but they said if I start out with drum lessons, see how it goes, take my time with it. It would be a while before they then bought me a drum kit in case I did the same damn thing. So
yeah. Are you happy now, you punk? We need a demonstration, mate. Are you happy, dude?
That just made me happier.
You know, last night when you were practicing, they were waiting for you to finish so they could pack it up afterwards. That's what I was doing last night.
So go and do your thing.
Those sticks are over there. I don't know where they are. They were on there.
made sense, and I took lessons for about over half a year, a bit less than a year. It was good, and it was a great introduction, I think, for me as to just how to hold drumsticks. You know, that's actually quite important as a beginner, because when you don't know, you're probably holding the stick here or like down here, and you know, so that was just very beginner stuff, and you know, introduced to rudiments. And I think just at that age, around 13, 14, I just didn't quite have the discipline, so I started to get a bit bored with it. And however, I was still playing at school now in the music rooms almost every day, so it was definitely had become a part of my life, but I just wasn't enjoying the technical and the theoretical aspect. In hindsight, I perhaps wish I had stuck it out, because I think it could have definitely had some benefits, but who knows, I might not have even been here right now, so no regrets, right? But so I started listening to a bunch of heavier music and heavy metal drummers, and that started out with the usual, you know, Joey Jordison, and eventually people like George Colias, Tim Young, etc., all these crazy double pedal monsters, and I was just mind blown. It was just something that I thought was so cool and out of the ordinary, and most of all, just the energy behind it, you know. So after a while, I started jamming with more of my friends who were musicians, guitarists, bassists, even a pianist, and that opened a lot of doors for me, I think, in the sense I realized there's a lot more to drumming and music than just my love for metal, and I kind of started to realize it was important to expand, and that's what I did. And I started listening to more. I'm still by no means that great at that particular style, but just listening to the jazz, for me, it was like Marcus Miller, Snarky Puppy. Not the most traditional stuff, but it was definitely a new realm of music for me, coming from just straight up heavy metal, you know. And then after that I started to get into bands and actually playing live shows, playing smaller concerts just locally, in school concerts. And I think what that did for me was really just condition the idea that this was something I really wanted to do and I wanted to continue to pursue. I wasn't doing the greatest in school. I just had such lack of interest with most of my subjects, and music was just something I could really identify with. It's something that I can't go a day without. It's essentially the soundscape to not only each day, but I think essentially my life, and I'm sure you guys can relate, because you know, when you're feeling a certain way, or you know, life's going a certain way, you know there's always an artist or a certain song that you can put on that will channel the way you're feeling, and I think that was always really important. So, you know, I knew I was going to continue playing. And on top of this, I was also doing my YouTube channel, Why Not Drum, which I would just upload drum covers of songs I was jamming and that I was just listening to a lot and were very influential for me. And there's nothing more than a hobby. I never focused on views or anything, and still to this day it's not my main interest. It's more reflective for me, and I like looking back on these experiences and where I was in my drumming. Usually I'm quite critical of myself. I'll look back and I'll be like, man, what are you doing? You should have done that. Or when you hit the cymbal here, you missed the hi-hat, blah blah blah. But I think we're all guilty of that, and that was also quite a big learning experience for me. And actually just an ongoing one, because it always forced me to really look back and listen to my playing, as opposed to just going all out and assuming I did really well. You know, when you listen to the intricacies, that's when you realize, like, yeah, shit, I got some things to improve on. So, and that's still the case today. So I think for the most part, I've never been very theoretical. I still struggle here and there with reading sheet music. I couldn't name, you know, 20, 30 different rudiments or whatever. I don't even know how many there are. I play for fun, and that's how it's always been for me. And to me, one of the most integral parts, the most important parts about being a drummer is that you can play for the music. You want to make people feel a certain way, make a song feel a certain way, and you know, that's your job, not to how many notes can I play in a minute, or you know, do the most complex polyrhythms that just, you know, clash all these odd time signatures. And I definitely realized it's not the most important thing. The most important thing is the music, and also being a great bandmate towards your other musicians, being able to cooperate, understand the language of music, you know, when to give space to another musician if they're going solo or have a little section, or you know, when to back off a bit, when to come up, maybe throw a fill in, when to not throw in fills. So yeah, at the end of the day, music is what's always guided me and taught me to play the drums, and I see it being that way for almost the rest of my life. Who knows, perhaps I will get more into theory. I've tried a bit more recently, but I'm just gonna keep having fun with it, and hopefully I can teach you guys a couple things from my experience. And I would love to learn from you guys if you're experienced drummers or musicians from any instrument. So I hope this video could provide a bit of insight just towards how I approach music and playing the drums, and hopefully if you're a beginner drummer or considering playing, this can provide some insight. And if you're already a great drummer, then you know, I would like to learn from you, and feel free to comment down below. I will try to reply to every comment. And yeah, more videos to come soon. See you guys.